That is a Moro blood orange, so I think it'll be a good addition on this hill. And then the great thing is we have a whole bunch of mulch here. All this mulch that I got a grinder, so we're gonna start mulching everything, try and get everything, all the soil completely covered in mulch over the coming years. So everything's gonna be covered. You see, look how much moisture that holds underneath. That's just completely wet underneath, and it's dry up top. Between that and rain encatchments and some ponds for saving the water, the runoff, we should be able to be less dependent on the water company. Plus there is still the possibility of hitting a well. The property will be independent. It'll have rain encatchment, a well, and everything's mulched. And also I'm going to be putting in a bunch of solar panels and try and make it grid independent also. So we're not at the mercy of these utility companies. Oh, that's weird. I hear something there. What is that? Oh! This is one of the local animals in the hills. It's a nana. The nana. See, this is our handy wood chipper. I forgot what the name is. Hold on here. See, you got mouse poop on there, which is a problem because they'll chew these wires up. The kitties aren't doing their job. It's a wood max. It's funny too because when I got it, it's used, and the guy said it was, you know, in new condition. So I went to pick it up off of I think it was a grapefruit orchard, and when I got there, I was like, man, it's kind of beat up, but it's been sitting outside. But then when you spark it up right here, it shows the hours, and it's only been operated for minimal hours. So it is actually pretty much new, and it was sitting outside, so it got really used. Hey, you're not doing your job here. There's mouse poop here, buddy.
I saw an old man lift his head again.
Let's see if a mouse attacked this. No, it didn't. That's one of the, but it hasn't gotten started yet. Holler trees. This is a little pink strawberry. It should have been 10 plants, but they were kind of not doing that well. Oh, look, that's a whole asparagus starting. You see this? I haven't seen it. It poked through.
We gotta get our little spiral garden going too.
Yeah. I use it probably for a starter on things too. And a lot of herbs, basically the herbs will kind of go through here. This is what happens. Look, something like digs up the inside of it. Oh, I hate this.
That's probably mice. So does it kill it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because it's like this asparagus. Look, it will go into flower, and then.
Cuppy, you need to do your job.
This colored tree is doing the best, and I'm tempted to pull it out because I'm scared that my critters will find it.
What is a collard tree?
Collard tree, it's something that some woman, I guess, or someone created a project, the collard tree project. They turn collards into a whole tree, and it's like real resilient. Look, that's what they do. This is it. Look at this.
Oh, see, that's not a mouse. That's probably a snail. Or a slug.
And it kills it.
It goes on top and pulls it all out. Yeah.
Just look at this. Can you appreciate this? And when you get deeper, it's like fine soil. And look at this. Look at this. You see this?
It's like Bulgaria.
This is like literally rich and gorgeous and amazing. And further deeper down, you get that blonde soil we get though, like kind of the sandy.
And then that's actually a redwood right there.
Yeah.
Alley concept that we can plant, because this whole area is really easy to access. So we're gonna start planting saffron flowers through here. And I used to sell saffron, and my dad actually had a contact in Iran, and most of the world's saffron actually comes from Iran actually, so I had a contact, so I'm kind of familiar with it, but I'm not familiar with growing it. So, but it sounds kind of promising. I know it's really labor intensive because you have to hand pluck each crocus from the flower, but we want to do skin elixirs, so it would be nice to grow our own saffron. And apparently you could put what do you call them, corns? They're called corns?
Yeah, the
It's
corms.
like their little
corms.
bulbs. We can plant them through here, and then they say don't water them, so we won't need to water them. So even though this whole thing is set up for irrigation here, but also this is above the fence line, so this is coyote land up here. So we're gonna put the coyotes to work. As opposed to treating them like our enemies, we're gonna treat them like our friends, because literally nothing up here, there's no squirrels or mice or rats up here above this fence line, because
We're hoping so.
well, I don't see anything. Down there, as soon as you pass that fence line, there's squirrels running around in front of you. So
We're protecting the squirrels from the coyotes, basically. We're breeding squirrel.
yeah. So we're gonna, at some point, we're trying to figure out like little collars to put on the squirrels, and we're gonna start rounding them up and using
And
them
also I
to.
want to put little collars on the coyotes
Yeah.
and employ them officially.
Exactly.
They're gonna have employment and they don't even know it.
But you know, this land is basically recouping from. I'm not sure how many goats were on. Do you know how many goats were on the property?
I think 2-3 goats.
I think it was more than that.
They only ate the small trees, I must add. The
Yeah.
big trees don't suffer because they're
But
tall.
he was saying that they ate the avocado trees, which he was surprised, because they usually don't like avocados, and they ate them, a lot of them.
But the little babies, not the big trees.
Yeah,
The big
so-
trees are solid.
And then there was two, as Felix, the guy that helps out, there was two pinche puercos on the property too that literally destroyed a bunch of stuff too.
Puerco is pigs, and
Puercos.
they dug up some of the lilies, I think.
See, here was a bunch of young trees up through here, and the prior owner let them go, and then all along there too, those are all young trees. So these are pretty much for taking down, but the good thing is that this whole area is set up for watering. Some of these could be revived. This one's dead, so they got to cut that down. Some of these still have life in them, but it's a shame because they all got let go, mainly because the price of water changed really rapidly here.
I used to buy this plant from in the frozen section in the ethnic market called Molokia, an Egyptian green. Here it's called malva, and it's malva. It has a few other mallow too. It's a very edible green. You cook it like spinach, and there's a lot of dishes you can make with it.
Look at, he's got the young lion trot. So apparently the family that owned this place for a number of years, they had a restaurant in town, but they used to make their own wine from here. And I think press their own olives and have olives that were, at the restaurant. But I guess he would be out working in the field, and then when lunch was ready, she would ring the bell.
Ninja.
Alright. Going to no man's land. Gotta have your trusty air horn. That's the best thing to ward off coyotes that I've found. there's kind of an ominous feeling I have when I come up here, because this area, it's like the forbidden forest, and it's actually intimidating because of the level of trees that were planted up here. It's a lot of work up here, and it's in need of revival. But you see, these trees have a lot of potential, so it's really nagging at me to get them going, to revive them. Today I'm just going to cut down a few that are gone, and I think what will end up happening is we'll end up cutting down a portion of them and then plant other things that are more drought friendly. So, and it goes up there and it just goes on and on. It's kind of crazy. And even over to there, that's actually our land over there too. So there's an amazing lookout right here. I could actually build a little deck right here because it's so beautiful. So literally, what's kind of crazy about it is that when you go out your front door here, you're kind of stepping out in the wilderness. And we do have mountain lions here, and bobcats, and supposedly there's black bears deeper in. There's still a few around. See, this is just the first row right here. The guy that helps out on the land, he's been on this land for a while. So he is against me watering these from the city water because it'll cost $2,000 a month to water these. We're gonna try and set up, the rain encatchments. I'll revisit that well too. So here's the second switchback. And the deeper you go up into here, the more wild it gets. And it's quite a hike actually. So coming up here, it's pretty amazing too, because you can basically go for a hike in your own backyard as long as you keep your wits about you. The main thing is just always kind of watching the ground for a cranky snake. There's constantly things moving around up here. I gotta do this as I get through the grass. It's funny, we would go hiking in Temescal Canyon all the time, and there's rattlesnakes all over the place. They're like by your legs, but those are used to hikers. Here it's like more wild, and I think those are Western diamondbacks, and they're a little bit less aggressive than this one that's here, or at least that one that I had the run-in with. That's the path right there, but it's grown over. It's funny because I came up here not too long ago and this wasn't even grown in like this. So look at this. This is like packed down here, so you can see animals are coming through here. See, so that's our fence line straight ahead. And then we keep going up into here. And straight ahead, those are real healthy avocados right there. See, so this is our property line here, and then look how healthy these are. These are on the other side. So this property wasn't in water for about 2 years. And I've had some of the neighbors urge me to revive it. I want to, but it's not economically feasible to use the city water. So I'm at the mercy of a well or the rain encatchment. So, my whole thing with this is to the trees is just hang on, because I'm coming. So this is a new switchback right here. I mean, it just keeps going. Up above the house, from my understanding, it's about 6 acres. But when you're climbing uphill, it's a good ways, because it goes all the way up to there. You can see all that agriculture going on right there. And for a lot of these people, it's not feasible to pay the water bill because you don't even break even, specifically with the avocado. So people are growing other things. They're incentivizing people to tear down the avocado trees and bring in grapes. I looked into that, but it doesn't make sense to grow grapes because you don't get very much per acre. So see, that's our house down there. So, and that's all part of the orchard right there. So that's where the path ends right there. But it still keeps going up. So still a lot more up in there too. So I don't know, when they originally planted this, it's crazy. This whole area, a lot of the trees, there's some trees down south that way that are huge. It's these massive forests. And when you get into them, it's kind of intimidating. It's like being in in sequoias or something. But, they're huge, and then they're on like slopes. So they have to bring in like these kind of tractor cranes to harvest. I actually brought up this chainsaw. I was gonna start cutting down some trees. When I'm down below, I see a few that have completely died. But on this hike, I haven't seen any that have died. So they're doing pretty well. We got a lot of rain last year and this year. So one of the neighbors was surprised because I told him I hadn't watered them. So this is just from the rainfall, which is really, really a good sign. My grandfather was a colonel with the U.S. Army, so he was in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. He grew up on a farm in Missouri, so during the Depression. So he had himself a old bolt-action Winchester, and would go squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting. He was in the Philippines in the beginning of World War II, which the Philippines, that's where the Bataan Death March happened and things like that. So he got out of there, but he went back in during D-Day with Patton. So he served as part of that decoy group, but he was part of the Rhineland campaign. So he saw a lot of death and destruction through Europe, and obviously Korea, and then Vietnam. He was in Da Nang, which was the beginning of Vietnam. So, and then he was in an area where there was high level of Agent Orange being sprayed everywhere. So he got high exposure to Agent Orange, and then he died at 62 from liver cancer. So I was only 14. It was pretty upsetting though. But his dream was to have an avocado orchard in this area. So I didn't even know that, which is pretty amazing. So I do feel like he's looking down. So we'll see what can happen. I'll do my best.
Daddy worked like a mule mining Pike County coal. He fucked up his back, couldn't work anymore. He said, one of these days you'll get out of these hills. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills.